Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead Season 7 premiere discussion topic video. In this one, we're going to be giving my thoughts on what this huge payoff or big payoff for the Walking Dead Season 7 premiere could be. As usual, spoiler warning if you're not caught up on The Walking Dead. The original series, not Fear. But I will probably do another Fear Q&A this week, and I definitely wanted to do this one just to kind of keep the conversation going, because we did one yesterday where we were talking about, Season 7 and the possibility of it being Michonne and kind of that theory and what that looks like. It's a lot of fun, and some of you guys brought up, well, what is this huge payoff? What is this big payoff that Kirkman promises? What could it be? And could it be possible? And I apologize, I didn't include your guys' names. You know who you are in the comments. Who said, well, what if they did go with the 2-character death rather than just have Negan kill one character? If it's not going to be Glenn, if he's still on set, and it's not going to be Daryl, Norman Reedus, could they go with like a couple other characters, like maybe do Abraham and possibly Michonne or something like that, or Abraham and Sasha? If somebody reacts to Abraham getting smashed, maybe he grabs him too, and then he does another one. Being a huge payoff or big payoff, you got to think of something like that. Like, it'd have to be big. So here's exactly what was said, and then we can break it down and respond to it. So the quote from Kirkman, I'll put the link in the description so you guys can actually read it yourselves, is everyone on the Walking Dead team wanted to do something cool. We wanted to do something different, and we did it to change things up. That's an interesting phrase. Change things up. Get people excited and keep the show on your mind for some of you. That effort backfired and you're angry. It seems like he knows at this point, because I think he's been interviewed about this. This is similar to other interviews he's had, because I think that he clearly knows now a lot of people are really pissed off. And for that, I'm sorry. The only thing I can promise you, and promises is in caps. So it's like, promise you is that the Season 7 premiere is going to be awesome. And when viewed as a 2-part episode, the same way every season of Star Trek The Next Generation ended with the first half of a 2-part episode, that was a cliffhanger. I knew Star Trek had to be responsible for this in some way. I don't know. I'm not a huge Star Trek fan. It's okay. It's what I don't know. I know it was big back in the day. I worked with a few Trekkies that just absolutely love Star Trek. It's going to be a pretty awesome ride, and every minute of the season 6 finale was important and was setting something up that you probably won't see coming. It's a cool episode, and remember, there's a lot more for Negan to do. Be afraid, be very afraid, and excited. So they should call the premiere Something to Fear. That's what I'm saying. But so I like it. It's a cool comment in that. And Norman Reedus also said, and I'll put the link to that in the description too, that the Season 7 premiere is so good, I think the planet is probably going to explode. So it sounds like they know that after filming Season 7, the premiere turned out to be really great. Some people weren't that happy with the Season 6 premiere. I thought it was great because you get this colossal zombie feel from it, but it was just the start of the first half, which was a pretty awesome story arc, and even went over that with no way out into the second half. So it was like a jump starter type episode. It wasn't that climactic in and of itself. It was just the beginning of what made a pretty incredible season, I want to say. But it sounds like the Season 7 premiere should be really, really cool. And from what I've heard from people in comments online and everything, we may possibly get to see the Sanctuary. We may see that. So that's Negan's home ground, so to speak, which should be cool if we're going to get to see that. And it sounds like if it's going to be really great, that the pacing might be pretty good for it. Hopefully it'll be an extended episode. I'd like to see that. So I'm thinking maybe lots of zombies, the usual kind of stuff. Maybe beating up Gregory a bit from Rick's perspective, being super pissed. Maybe a double death. I think that makes a lot of sense now, too. If he's saying, like, we're going to change things up, it almost leads me away from Glenn, even though it just seems so much like that it would be Glenn in the finale right after seeing it and everything. After hearing all this and everything and all that, now again I'm not so sure. It's just, unfortunately, there's just no way to know, man, until we see it. Well, we'll see if the trailer gives us something more to go by. But right now there really isn't too much until they release anything else to say conclusively one character or another. Which is frustrating and is kind of annoying. But hey, we're a good portion into the wait now. So, and once the trailer hits, it'll be more fun to talk about for sure. So, a pretty cool comment. And so it sounds like the season 7 premiere will be pretty awesome. And I do think, I do take their word for it when they say it most of the time. Most of the time when they say an episode is amazing or one of the best they've done or really awesome episode, it usually is. There's only a few cases where I didn't really like an episode that was hyped like that, like the season 5 mid-season premiere. It was going in the second half where you had, of course, the death of Tyrese in that episode. Greg Nicotero said that it was like an awesome episode, the best they've ever done and all this stuff. And it was good in terms of like the hallucinations and stuff, and that was pretty big, and I guess it was pretty impactful because of that. But I just found it to be a pretty sad jumping on point for me as a viewer. Pretty bleak is the word I would use as best to describe it. A couple other things that are cool. Andrew Lincoln's been nominated for a Teen Choice Award, so that'll be cool to find out if he wins that or not. And I'll let you guys know when we do find out about that. And Nick from Fear of the Walking Dead, Delane, what's his first name? Is it Frank or Steven? His dad's Stannis, right? So and apparently he's got a fighting spirit in him too because he got arrested. That's so funny. Also, link will be in the description. I guess he punched a security guard there or something in a CBS lot as he was trying to escape. I don't know, paparazzi or something, or just a crowd of fans or something. So check it out. It's pretty funny. You can read through it. And I just think it's so funny that he punched somebody. He got arrested for battery. Pretty awesome. So maybe he's more like Nick from the TV series than we realize. Maybe, man. So cool stuff. So we'll do a few Q&A questions. That's all I pretty much got to say about Kirkman's comments. And I do like the comments you guys left that maybe they will go with a second death, because that sure would change things up, and that sure would be a pretty big surprising moment for it. So man, it's hard to know what to think at this point for sure. Next one's from Chris Shelton, and he says, "Hey Trev, love your videos. Have a question for Fear of the Walking Dead, but it also applies to Walking Dead, so I included it." He says, "Do you think we will ever see Tobias again, or do you think he'll be the equivalent to the Walking Dead's Morales? Thanks, and as always, keep on rocking." So I thought that was a good question to touch on. So I think, with Fear of the Walking Dead, original Walking Dead 2, I don't think we can expect to see everybody, in the series until they die. Like, there's going to be characters that are going to come in the series, they're going to go out, and we may not necessarily get to find out if everybody's dead. I would think that Morales would be dead. That's what I thought. The actor says not dead in this whole thing, but he hasn't come back in the show yet, and it doesn't look like he's one of the saviors, so it seems like he's gone for good. We'll probably never see him again in the show from what I would think of it. So I would imagine him to be dead myself. But Tobias could be like the equivalent, like the same thing, because if you look at it, unless they go back there, which I don't see them going back to LA for any reason, why would they want to? There'd be no way that it just wouldn't make realistic sense that he'd be able to make it all the way to Mexico and meet with them. So to me, I would say personally, I think he's a character we'll probably never see again. And maybe same with the survivalist, kids, or should I call them kids? Kid and older brother. But with them, our group may think, okay, where can we go? Maybe that's someplace we can go and see if they're okay and maybe live there or something. So who knows? Maybe we'll see them. But I don't think we'll see Tobias ever again. No, I don't think so. Good question. And we'll do just one more for today because, of course, we got tonight, Game of Thrones tonight, and all the good stuff. But, of course, no Fear of the Walking Dead tonight because it's on break now. Superman Gamer says, for The Walking Dead, how do you think the whole Whisperer storyline in the comic books will play out? I personally think that if Rick's communities keep losing people, it could go really bad for them, and they could come out of the war with barely anyone left. So this is comic book series related. Do you think we could go back to the days of just surviving in the comic books? Or do you think this dynamic of multiple communities and a bigger world is here to stay? I have to say, I feel like we've just been moseying on in the comics for a year and a half after All Out War, and nothing big happening. I don't mind that because character development is top dog for me over action, but surely we're due for some big stuff now, right? I'm guessing we'll get it to now the communities are preparing for war, and Negan has wandered off. So this was a bit ago. I meant to answer this one for a while, but including this one. So yeah, I don't want to get into too much in case anybody's not caught up on the Walking Dead comic book series, because this is a more TV series themed video. But yeah, that's an interesting overarching question, which is, will we see the group ever go back to simple survival horror again, or is it always going to be kind of a bigger type deal, bigger world, more groups, bigger villains, bigger groups, this kind of thing? I tend to think it'll probably always be bigger, and the survival horror aspect will probably only just come in with regards to big war battles and fights, or if they go off on runs and missions and they're out in the world. That's the evolution, the way I see it, of the Walking Dead comic book series. But it is different, and you might not, some people may not like that as much as kind of the more smaller group just surviving by themselves, equivalent to seasons like, 5 or maybe 4 or 3 against Woodbury, like smaller, like a dozen group rather than 100 or 50 like Alexandria, or like with the Saviors and that. I don't think it'll ever go back to that. I think it'll always be bigger now, but smaller in terms of little groups as they go off to do missions and stuff. Yeah, so that's kind of what I think, Superman Gamer. So I hope you like that, and I hope you checked out this video and were patient for me to answer your question. If you guys have other questions, or you want to comment below on what you think, or any other news you want to hear me comment on, absolutely send it to me, man. Right in the comments below. Send it to me through the About tab in the channel, and I will include it in an upcoming Q&A. All summer, why not? We got lots of time, so ask whatever you guys want, and it's got a good chance, better chance now of getting selected than during the year, when I get like 100 questions a day, which is like 700 a week, and only 20 or so, or 30 or 40 are going to get through. It is what it is. So anyway, yeah, if you guys like the video, you know what to do. Thumb it up below. I always appreciate it. Share a fave. And if you're new and you want to subscribe, you can subscribe at the bottom left. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys tonight for Game of Thrones. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See ya. You better subscribe.